Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. This is your Akazaki Yahoo, and I start this broadcast as I would start any broadcast by giving all praise, honor, and great esteem unto the Most High Power, Yahuwah Bahashem, Yahushua HaMashiach, and to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered to the four quarters of the earth. I say Shalom Wabarukim. That is peace and blessings. And I cannot wait till the day that the Most High brings us back together. And we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation, under the Most High power, under one covenant. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I'm joined this afternoon, this evening, I should say, by my most esteemed Kenaniah. Shabbat Shalom, my king.
Shabbat shalom, my king. Shabbat shalom, y'all's people. Halal Yahweh.
Hallelujah. Yes, indeed. Halal, Yahweh, Yahuwah, however you want to pronounce it. Praises to the Father. That's the most important thing. Uh, man, we was just talking before we got on here about the cipher, whatever that Kurt Franklin did, where he talked about the Messiah basically is going to bow down to Satan,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, I pretty much got a bad taste in my mouth right now because of hearing that. Who'd have thought? I wouldn't have thought. I mean, I knew, but I didn't know. It's one of those. Yeah, but probably not. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. It's one of those things. Unless we would have heard him say it, it's something
Exactly.
that we might have assumed. You know what I
Right.
mean? But he kind of confirmed our assumptions.
Right. Confirmed it unequivocally. You saying the lion and the lamb will bow down. I mean, that is insane. I don't have a clue what in a man's brain would make anybody in the earth think that the most high power, who is the most high, would allow his son to bow down to anybody
Right.
except for him. I mean, you taking all power away from the so you
So
it's
so
just
the so creation is gonna bow down to the creator. Or
right
or the creator is gonna bow down to what he's created.
to the
You know?
creation. I mean, that makes absolutely no sense.
Con.
And and for anybody who's following that, who believes that, you deserve your punishment because you're gonna be severely punished.
Yeah.
And and you deserve every bit of it. And Abba, all praises to the Abba, and I will forever serve him. And never will I even remotely consider any any entity outside of the power of my fathers.
That's right.
So oh, that is just so unreasonable. But let's go ahead and get started. I had to put that out there, as I tend to do my introduction each time. You know, it it means so much, but it means so much more when when things like this come out, and you have to really understand how important all praise, honor, and great esteem really means to the Most High when you say that, and how these other people want to give that to somebody else. So let's go ahead and get started. Last night we left off at chapter 15. We were gotten introduced to Samson or Shimshon, and man, it was a great chapter 13. I think was absolutely my favorite. Uh,
Con.
it was so beautiful, to see Mashiach in there, and the messenger of the Most High come in, and he made two appearances and showed his ability, and then he was out. He just disappeared,
Mm-hmm.
and was it Manoza?
Manoah.
Manoah, and his wife were just blown away, and then Shimshon comes, and he decides that he wants to marry a Philistine, and it was a very interesting, bit of information. So this book of Judges has been really pretty interesting, really interesting. I knew it would be, but looking forward, we're going to finish this out today, and so next week we will begin the book of um, um,
First Samuel.
Samuel, kind of
Mm-hmm.
First Samuel, kind of. So as we get deeper into the history, and let's go ahead and get deeper into this chapter 16.
Oh,
Oh,
Slacky,
go ahead, go ahead.
I'm actually wrong.
Oh,
It's gonna be before Samuel comes Ruth.
oh, okay.
I forgot all
So,
about that.
okay, Yeah, let me just pull this up right quick. And I think actually this one is a different order. Yeah, because this one, if you're looking at the Hallelujah or at the like this is the scriptures.
Oh, okay, Khan.
Samuel is next.
Okay.
Ruth comes on down, and that might have been how you got that. But either way, I mean, whichever one we jump into first, if we do.
Well, I know chronological it would be Ruth because Ruth is ends up marrying uh or is the mother of Obadiah, who is the father of Jesse, who is the father of David.
Okay, So okay, So we'll definitely go to Ruth. So what we'll do is we'll read those books of Ruth, and then we'll go to um, that additional in the APOC, and we'll read that as well.
Okay, all praises.
Yeah, so that's how we'll do that. All praises to the Most High, indeed, and that way we'll keep everything situated and in order. So uh, this is the Book of Judges, chapter number 16, and verse number 1. Shimshon's weakness. It says, "Then went Shimshon to Gaza, and saw there an harlot, and went in unto her." So now he done picked up you know, I got to scratch my head on this because, again, I said last night, uh, I can't put, I can't say negative anything about Shimshon because his spot in the kingdom is already solidified as it is written in the text.
Mm-hmm.
So, but man, he's definitely doing some stuff that Akazaki Yahoo just would absolutely is not in my ruach to do, and praises to the Father for that. But it's amazing that that he finds himself in these positions that he's doing these things. Verse 2. And it was told the Gerzites,
Gazites.
Gazites, like I said, Snika. Them, I don't know. Some of these words just really trip me up. But the Gazites saying, "Shimshon is come hither," and they compassed him in. Uh-oh. I mean, they finna get their behinds whooped.
Yes, God.
And laid wait for him all night in the gate of the city, and were quiet all the night, saying, "In the morning, when it is day, we shall kill him." I don't see that happening, but if you understand who Shimshon is, the Ruach of the Most High comes on him, and wrecks. He wrecked 1,000 uh, Philistines with a jawbone
God.
of a donkey. You know what I'm saying? That's not even a weapon. That's just a something that's harder than probably your fist.
Right.
You know, and he wrecked 1,000 of them with that. So let's continue. Verse 3. And Shimshon lay till midnight, and arose at midnight, and took the door of the gate of the city and the two posts, and went away with them, bar and all, and put them upon his shoulder, and carried them to the top of the hill that was before Hebron. Verse 4. And it came to pass afterward that he loved a woman in the valley of uh, Suk, Surek,
Surrect.
Surek, whose name was Delilah. Now he was just with a harlot, and now he decided he loved this woman. So let's take a look at this couple of things here. Surek. Surek. Yeah, Surek. You hit it on the head, Surek. Choice vines, and it's ironic because we keep seeing vines around him, and he's a Nazarite. He's
Nazarite.
not supposed to
Con.
deal with nothing with the vine. You know. Let's see what her name is.
Delilah.
Delilah. Delilah. Feeble. Philistines, mistress of Samson, who betrayed his secret, his great strength, and cut his hair, feebling him and delivered him to the Philistines. So she's and look enfeebling him. So probably we wasn't even her Philistine name.
Yeah,
That's
con.
probably just what they called her because of what she did.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Lashing Delilah, a Philistine woman. So interesting. All right, let's continue. Verse 5. And the masters of the Philistines came up unto her and said unto her, entice him and see where his great strength lie, and by what means we may prevail against him, that we may blind him to afflict him, Salika, to afflict him, and we may give, and we will give you every one of us 1,100 pieces of silver. So basically, they saying they're gonna make her rich.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, and we will give you every one of us 1,100 pieces of silver. So is it 1,100 together or 1,100 each?
That's the way I took it. Is each of them is gonna give her, because these are, I think these are the masters of the Philistines. So these are,
Okay,
and it doesn't say. I mean, does it say how many of them it
it
was?
doesn't. No, it doesn't. When we read this, just says the masters of the Philistines came up to her, yeah, and gave her that. So basically, they said, we will give you every one of us 1,100 pieces of silver each. So if they're giving him, I mean, that's a lot. Consider, I mean, hypothetically, say it's 10 of them, say it's 5 of them. I mean, 1,100 each. That's she'd be rich either way.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder why they picked that number 1,100. That's interesting. That's probably they, you know, spending money or pocket money or whatever that they, that they have. So
Con.
yeah, verse 6, indeed. Verse 6, and Delilah said to Shimshon, tell me, I pray you, wherein your great strength lie, and where you might be bound to afflict you. What? I mean, listen to that. That's crazy. That's like that's like a woman of my adversaries asking me, uh, when are you at your weakest? You know what I'm saying? When are you not? When are you not uh, armed and ready for battle?
Con. I can't fathom why he would stay around this woman.
You know what
Like,
I'm saying? First of all, her people got your people in captivity.
right?
First, second, she is not your people.
Yeah. I mean, if this had been Joshua, Joshua would have poked her through with a stake. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
He would
For
have made
real.
an example of her.
Right, kind. I mean, and why he's so fixated with them anyway? Because, well, we know what the script said. It was the doing of the Most High. But tell me that I pray you was like, please tell me, please, where is your strength? Where is your strength? And where might be bound to be afflicted, or to afflict you? How can I hurt you?
Right.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like,
You can't, a lot of times we we look for people to be coy about their questions, but she's not even
uh,
being, coy about it. Like, how
no.
can she hurt you?
How can I hurt you? How can I bind you up where you can't get out? By the way, I'm the enemy of your people.
Right.
My people have your people in captivity. So tell me how we can defeat you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's that is just unreasonable. That's unreasonable. Uh, Verse 7. My goodness, this is unreasonable. Verse 7. And Samson said unto her, if you bind me with seven green, what's that, withs that were never dried, then I shall be weak as and be as other men. So he think it's a game, he just making up something and telling her like, oh yeah, you just bind me with seven green withs
Mm-hmm.
that were never dried, then I'll be weak as other men. Watch this, verse 8. Then the masters of the Philistines brought up to her seven green withs which had never been dried, and she bound him with them. So now she done did what he said. Now she got to die. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's it. That's the end of it.
Right.
She she got to die. So verse 9. Now when the men lying in wait aided Slika abated with her in the chamber, and she said unto them, the Philistines, Slika, she said unto him, the Philistines be upon you, Simshon, and he break the withs as a thread, and tow, Slika, as the thread of tow is broken with the touch when it is touched the fire. So his strength was not known. So they didn't even understand, what I'm saying, that he was playing them basically.
Mm-hmm.
And so he freed himself, and it doesn't even say that he, took care of them. So I guess they realized that he wasn't, weak. So they went on about their business. Verse 10. And Delilah said unto Samson, behold, you have mocked me and told me lies. Now tell me, please, where might I bound you? Where may you be bound? Tell me how I can kill you. Tell me how I can destroy you. Tell me how I can defeat you. Like, this is the second time. I mean, after the first time when she talking about the Philistines upon you, she got to go. Like,
Yeah.
but I guess he think it's a game. I don't know. I don't understand this at all. This
I
is
mean, she is showing him what she's about. Like
yeah,
it's one thing to ask these questions,
right,
and then after you find this out, you actually go and do it. In my
right,
mind, it's made up.
right,
Definitely now what you're about.
right. Yeah, you got to go. I done cut off women for hey, listen this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I, I ain't put nobody in a suitcase or nothing, but I done left women alone for way less than that. And the fact that you would tie me up and say that your adversary is up on you and I'm able to get free, I mean, the game is over right there. One time and that's it. And she say, "Tell me how I can basically defeat, how I can kill you. I want you dead." That's basically what she's telling him. Whew, crazy. Verse 11. uh, and he said unto her, "If you bind me fast with new ropes that were never occupied, then shall I be weak and be as another man." And Delilah therefore took new ropes and bound him wherewith, and said unto him, the Philistines will be upon you, Shimshon. and, and there were lions in wait, abated. Is that abating?
Con.
Okay, abating in the chamber. So they in the chamber where he is. So it's not even.
Abiding. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, abiding. Oh, slick eye. But still, they in the chamber where he is with his woman, and he break them off his arms like a thread. So this is twice. I mean, this is beyond reason now. I don't. He. This is crazy. This is crazy. I don't even understand this. But let's continue. Verse 13. And Delilah said, and again, I'm not talking about the. I mean, the story is not crazy. It's just the facts in the matter are crazy. Like this, I know he taking it as a game, but no, that's not what you do. Verse 13. And Delilah said to Shimshon, hitherto you have mocked me and told me lies. Tell me wherewith you may be bound. So she want that 1,100 pieces, from all those people. She want that money. That's what she doing this for. And he said unto her, if you weave, hold on, if you weave the 7 locks of my head with a web, and she fastened it with a pin, and said unto him, the Philistines be upon you, Shimshon. And he awaked out of his sleep. So I guess he sleep each time this is happening, because how else would she bind him and then say, the Philistines be upon you?
Okay.
Uh, Crazy. And he awaked out of his sleep and went away with the pins of the beams and with the web. Delilah extracts his secret. Verse 15. Why would you now 3 times she's showing you what she's doing? Why in the world? How in the world would you ever tell this woman anything like serious?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't. It's not. It's I don't know. I don't know. Okay, verse 15. This is a head scratcher. Uh, verse 15. And she said unto him, how canst you say I love you when your heart is not with me? You have mocked me these 3 times and have not told me wherein your great strength lies. And it came to pass, when she pressed him daily with her words and urged him, so that his soul was vexed unto death. If anybody's soul is vexed unto death, it should be hers.
Right. Right. Right.
I don't know how in the world he let this happen. This is crazy. This is crazy. Verse 17. That he told her all his heart and said unto her, there have not come a razor on my head, for I have been a Nazarite unto the Most High from my mother's womb. If I be shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak as another, and like any other man. Now, what you think she gonna do here? Let's see. And when Delilah saw that he had told her all his heart, she sent and called for the masters of the Philistines, saying, "Come up, come up this once, for he hath shown me all his heart." And the masters of the Philistines came up unto her and brought her money in her hand, which is what she wanted all along. Verse 19. And she made him sleep on her knees, and she called for a man, and caused him to shave off the 7 locks of his head, as she began to afflict him, and his strength went from him. And she said, the Philistines be upon you, Shimshon. And he awoke out of his sleep and said, I will go out as at other times before, and shake myself. And he knoweth not that Yahuwah had departed from him. But the Philistines took him and put out his eyes and brought him down to Gaza and bound him with feathers of brass. And uh he did, is it grind in the prison house.
Mm-hmm.
Grind. What does that grind mean? Let's see what that's about. That's some old English stuff. Uh
Takan.
takan, grind, grinder. To grind, to crush. So hmm, a primitive root at grind meal, tense to be a concubine, that being their employment,
Mm.
grinder. Hmm. I don't, I don't, I don't. understand the context there. So, and he did, I guess, work a grinder in prison.
That's what I'm thinking. Like it was some type of uh labor, jail labor or something. You know what I mean?
Okay, kind. Which is crazy because after he done killed as many of them as he done killed, seemed like they would have just put him straight to death.
Yeah, kind of. But they probably wanted to mock him and see, like, look, here's Samson. The man that had been tormenting us.
Right, kind.
But
Yeah,
with them putting his eyes out, I
they
want to
probably
say it
thought they
was
had him.
King Zedekiah
Uh-huh.
that the Babylonians had put his eyes out. Like the last thing that he saw before they put his eyes out was I think they killed his children in
Children,
front of
yeah,
him,
I
and
remember
then
that.
took his eyes.
Yeah, kind. Yeah, I think that was a big thing back then. Now you just get a bullet and it's over.
Hey,
You
con,
know what
con.
I'm saying? So, verse 22. You on the movies and the shows. There's always this long dialogue right before the end, and they go, yeah, I had to do it because you made me. You killed my brother and my sister, and so I had to get you back, and you know, I thought we were friends, and you're making me do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, not in real life. In
Mm-hmm.
real life is, yep, that's it.
Yeah,
So,
con. Over quick.
right. Yes, indeed. Verse 22. Howbeit, the hair of his head began to grow again after he was shaven. So his hair start growing back. Verse 23. Then the masters of the Philistines gathered them together for the offer a great sacrifice unto that evil one that they serve.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna see what his name means. I know we looked at that before because yeah, we did look at that because I was saying dragon for it.
It con.
Yeah, their idol and rejoicing. So they want to do a great sacrifice to an idol that had absolutely nothing to do with Shimshon being, you know, off on what he was doing. For they said, our uh, our idol have delivered Shimshon, our enemy, into our hands. And see, truthfully, here's the thing about that. They serve this idol, so same property, same way we serve. Well, not the same way, probably in a similar, capacity that we serve the Most High. So we pray to Him and we ask Him, to help us, in our situations and circumstance. I'm sure they do the same thing. And now here he is in their hands because he was completely being unreasonable. He should have grabbed that woman and broke her neck and,
Con.
tossed her off somewhere and he continued. Matter of fact, they should have fired him up to get at them. Like, oh, you gonna send my woman against me? So here's her dead carcass, and I'm gonna use this carcass and beat you guys to death, beat all of you. That would have been the smart thing to do. But yeah, in their mind, they idol done delivered uh, Shimshon to them, and so they celebrating because even though he didn't have nothing to do with it, I mean, we see it from the scripture side, but from their side, they've been praying and asking they idol to deliver them, and here it is. So I kind of understand that aspect because it can look like he don't deliver,
Mm-hmm.
but we know better. But man, they do kind of make you scratch your head. Like, why is it he was being so unreasonable with this woman?
It con.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hmm, why was he being so unreasonable with this woman? Well, I'm not gonna say it was that idol, but it make you
Yeah,
scratch your head.
well, I think what we had read in chapter 2,
Mhm.
uh him even dealing with these Philistines, because we're wondering like how all these things could come to be. But what we have to keep in mind is that the Most High is architecting something right here. You know what I mean?
Kind, yeah,
He's bringing this to pass to bring an occasion against them,
yeah,
and their deity.
And I can definitely see that. I can definitely see that being how it unfolds. However, I think he could have. I think Samson could have. I think Shimshon could have done it without being put in this lower state.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
indeed.
saying? It could have been like what he accomplished. We know familiar with this story, but what he accomplished, I think he could have accomplished without losing his eyes, without giving this information, without making it look like, or maybe it had to go this way so that they would, be at this festive celebratory place. But I don't know. We'll continue here to the end here. Let's verse 24. And when the people saw him, they praised their idol, for they said, our idol have delivered unto our hands our enemy, and the destroyer of our country, which slew many of us. I mean, yeah, so they in this festive celebratory, you know, mood here. Verse 25. And it came to pass that their hearts were merry, and they said, call for Shimshon, that we may that he may make us sport. And they called for Shimshon out of the prison house, and he made them sport, and they set him between the pillars. So let's see what this made them sport, what that's kind of referring to.
Sukkah.
Sukkah, uh, to laugh, mock, play and mock. Okay, so they can mock him like, yeah, to
Mm-hmm.
just. So mind you, he got no eyes. Uh, so yeah, basically they just mocking him. I just imagine, whew, having him. I wonder how they didn't say how they put out his eyes, but I'm sure it wasn't pretty.
God.
Yeah.
I don't like. I've got this image in my head of them taking their thumbs up against his head and just pressing in.
Mm, that's rough. Yeah, I kind of thought they probably put fire to it. Probably put
Mm-hmm.
fire to him. That's what I kind of thought. Um, that probably would have been the easier way. Because if you like a regular, if you just a regular man, and you got two people holding your head, and somebody come with something hot and put it right to your eye is gone like before it even get to it. It's
God.
gonna it's gonna burn it out. So, uh, verse 26. And Samson said unto the lad which held him by the hand, suffer me that I may feel the pillars whereupon the house standeth, that I may lean upon them. Now this, again, I think this is Abba working here, and maybe this was the plan all along. But okay, let's see, 27. Now the house was full of men and women, and all the masters of the Philistines were there, and there were upon the roof about 3,000 men and women that beheld while Simpson made sport. Simpson is avenged. Verse 28. And Simpson called unto Yahuwah and said, O Master Power, remember me, I pray you, and strengthen me, I pray you, only this once, O Master, or Slikah, O Power, that I may be at once avenged the Philistines for my two eyes. He's like, I want them, they got to pay for my eyes. They can't get away with that.
God.
All praises, that's funny. Verse 29, he says so primitive, this writing is like they sacrifice his brain for strength. You know what I'm saying? Like
God.
he really seemed like that. But again, his spot is solidified. So I'm trying to be in his position where my spot is solidified. Uh,
Indeed.
yes, indeed. Verse 29. And Samson took hold of the two middle pillars upon which the house stood, and on which it was borne up, of the one on his right hand and the other on his left. And Shimshon said, let me die with the Philistines. And he bowed himself with all his might, and the house fell on the masters and upon all the people that were therein. So the dead which he slew at his death were more than he slew in his life. Then his brethren and all the house of his father came down and took him and brought him up and buried him between Zorah and Estola,
Mm-hmm.
Estola, in the burying place of Manoah his father, and he judged Israel 20 years. That was an adventurous 20 years. But I don't know if this Estola, if we're familiar with this one. Estolo, Ol, Estol, Ol, uh, entreaty. All right, interesting. So I guess it had to go that way. So he killed more at his death than he did in his life.
Okay.
So yeah. So I guess it, yeah, I guess it had to go that way. So chapter 17, the book of Judges, chapter 17 and verse 1. This is Micah's idolatry. Oh my goodness. I'm not familiar with this one as not at this right at this point. So let's see what happens. It says, and there was a man of Mount Ephraim whose name was Micah, and he said unto his mother, the 1100 shekels of silver that were taken from you, which be your curses, Curtis, what is that? Cursed,
Cursed.
which be you cursed, and spake of also in my ear, behold, the silver is with me, and I took it. Slicker, I took it, and his mother said, blessed be you of Yahuwah, my son. Okay, so it's strange that we were just talking about, they were just talking about the Philistines giving Delilah 1100 pieces of silver in the last chapter. And in this chapter, we open up with 1100 pieces of shekels of silver, not pieces, but shekels.
Yeah.
So,
And when we were reading that, I
uh
was like, man, is this Delilah?
right. Yeah, I was kind of like, you know, interesting. So, maybe 1100 is like, I don't know, maybe that's a standard or something. Verse 3. Okay, verse 3. Okay. I thought I skipped something. And when she had restored the 1100 shekels of silver, Slicker, I said that wrong. And when he had restored the 1100 shekels of silver to his mother said, I will wholly dedicate, I will wholly dedicate the silver unto Yahuwah for my hand of my son, from the Slicker, from the hand of my son, to make a graven image and a molten image. Now therefore I will restore it unto you.
Mm.
Wow. This is Ephraim. This is Ephraim. Verse 4. Yet he restored the money unto his mother, and he and his mother took 200 shekels of silver and gave them to the founders, who made thereof a graven image and a molten image. And there and they were in the house of Micah. So she then took the silver to make something, make something inappropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 5, my gracious. This is a head scratcher right out the back. Verse 5, and the man Micah had a house of idols and made an ephod and what is that,
Teraphim.
teraphim. It sounds vaguely familiar. I can't remember what that is. We'll look at that in just a moment. And a uh,
Consecrated.
and consecrated one of his sons who became a priest. Okay. How did your son become a priest and you from Ephraim?
Good point.
That is strange. Let's see what this teraphim is. I don't recall that. I recall it, but I don't remember what it is. Uh, teraphim. Idolatry, idols, image, teraphim, family idol. Family idol. A kind of idol used in household shrine or worship. Wow. Hill of teraphim, singular, plural, a family idol. A family idol. That doesn't even. Wow. That's strange. Oh, okay. Uh-oh. Oh, Cliff in here. Hold on one second. Shabbat shalom, my king.
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, brother.
How y'all feeling today?
You
Charles
blessed,
doing well, yes
blessed
indeed.
abundantly.
Yes indeed. Yeah, we in Judges chapter 17 now. This is one of the chapters I'm not as familiar with. But yeah, looking back at this, so that teraphim was images in Bereshit and images in well, a couple of places. So but here, yeah, so it was images in two places in Genesis, or three places. And here we see it as teraphim. So that's probably where I had seen it before and didn't realize it. So okay, we at verse 6. All right, it says, in those days there was no king in Israel, but every man did that which is right in his own eyes. I don't. Okay, there was no king. I get that there was no physical king, but they still had the Most High.
Hmm.
So I don't. I'm perplexed by that.
It's almost like there was no one to
Give instruction.
ensure that order and righteousness was being done.
Yeah.
Uh, kind of like similar to how we are now. You know what I mean?
Kind.
Like
Yeah.
it's okay to be knee deep in idolatry and say that you love the Most High. Whereas if we had righteous judges, it wouldn't be going on like that.
Right. Right. Kind. Yeah, that's a good analogy. Honestly, because we don't have what we should have, and everything is just basically doing their own thing. You know, so you got some brothers that do submit to leadership and that do follow the book. And I don't know why they wouldn't be following the book though. Um,
Yeah.
but strange. So I guess there was really no judge at this time. Uh, so all right, verse 17. So look at verse 7, chapter 17 and verse 7. It says, and there was a young man out of Bethlehem, Judah, of the family of Yehuda. So they got Bethlehem Yehuda out of the family of Yehuda, who was a Levite, and he sojourned there. And the man departed out of the city of Bethlehem Yehuda to sojourn, uh, where he could find a place, and came to the Mount Ephraim and the Mount of um, Micah as he journeyed. And Micah said unto him, Where come you? And he said unto him, I am a Levite of Bethlehem Yehuda, and I go to sojourn where I may find a place. And Micah said unto him, Dwell with me, and be unto me a father and a priest, and I will give you 10 shekels of silver by the year, and a suit of apparel, and your victuals. So the Levite went in. Like,
Con.
I'll
And
take that deal.
what stands out to me is,
Uh,
we heard about Micah making his son a priest, which, you know, we know that he couldn't truly be a priest because he
right,
wasn't a Levite.
right.
But what stands out also is that the Levites that were in Bethlehem, Yehuda,
Hmm.
were from from the seed of Aharon.
Mm-hmm.
So this could be a priest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this was really a priest.
Right.
Yeah, Bethlehem Yehuda. He was a I'm a Levite from Bethlehem Yehuda. So yeah, he could be. If he wasn't a son of Aaron, then he couldn't necessarily be a priest. But at least he was a Levite
Mm-hmm.
who had some capacity in the office of the Most High. You know.
It, what I could be mistaken, but when we were reading about the land that was allotted to all the tribes
Hmm.
and all the sons of the heads,
Hmm.
I want to say that this particular Bethlehem, the Levites that were in Bethlehem Yehuda
Uh-huh.
were in fact were from Aharon.
Okay,
I could be wrong, but I'm thinking that I know we read that.
Okay, that and that's a pretty good, that's a fair assumption, because or a fair observation, I should say, because um, and I may not just remember that right off the top, but yeah, it seemed like I vaguely remember. Yeah, let's do this. Let's go to Bethlehem Yehuda and see what it tells us about that.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I know that's not the same first time we've seen that one. It's actually uh, two different spots here. House of Bread, City of David, Place of Zebulun. Okay, let's see what the second one says. Yahuda. Okay, uh, that didn't help. Okay, so yeah, this probably is the son of Aaron then. So it's kind of strange though. I guess they would go back to Levi as opposed to Aaron. You know,
Mm-hmm.
given his lineage. So all right, verse 11. And the Levite was content to dwell with the man, and the young man said unto him as one of his sons. And the young man was unto him as one of his sons. So he treated him like an actual son, even though he told him he would pay for the things that he would give him. Uh, and Micah consecrated the Levite, and the young man became his priest and was in the house of Micah. Then said Micah, Now know I do, Silica, now know I that Yahuwah will do with me good, seeing I have a Levite to my priest.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I vaguely remember that now, but I don't even know what necessarily the point of it was. So he brought a Levite in his house, so that got rid of the idolatry, as his mother was doing the. So I don't know. Let's continue here. Maybe it'll give us some better understanding. Chapter 18. Um, Diana's seeks territory, or Danites seek
Then I
territory.
gone.
Okay, I'm tripping. Be tripping sometime. Verse 4, verse 1. In those days there was no king in Israel, and in those days the tribe of the Danites sought them an inheritance to dwell in. For unto that day all their inheritance had not fallen unto them among the tribes of Israel. So they had a hard time from that point. But and maybe that's why. Well, wait a minute. Did we see? Okay, now I'm scratching my head because this is reminding me. Didn't didn't Simpson, wasn't he in Bethlehem, Yehuda,
Uh, nah, he was in when he passed, he was in Gaza.
in Gaza? Okay, but what? Remember when he knows when he right before he slew that thousand, and they bound him and to give him to the Philistines. Um, that was 14, or
Con.
wasn't that?
Uh, let's see.
Let's go back.
To my Timanath.
Oh, that was Timon.
Yeah, Timanath is
Okay,
where he was at.
okay, con. I was thinking because yeah, I remember us looking at where uh
And Ascalon.
okay, con. I don't know where I got Bethlehem Yehuda. I guess I'm confusing it with what we're looking at now because I remember him. uh, going to the children of Yehuda, and they was like, these Philistines gonna deal with us. Like, look, man, you bringing heat on us, so we got to give you to them. Like, as long as you do it and not them, or as long as they do it and not you, then I'll go with you. And so, yeah, that's what we read last night. All right, verse 2. And he said unto his mother, the 1100 shekels. No, this was 17. Slicker. We had 18. All right, verse 2. And the children of Dan sent their families 5 men. Slicker, I'll be messing this up. Verse 2. And the children of Dan sent to their family 5 men from the coast, men of valor from Zorah and from Es- Estala, Estalo,
Echtolo.
Es-
Echtol.
Estol, to spy out the land and search it. And they said unto the men, go search the land, whom when they come to Mount Ephraim, to the house of Micah, they lodged there. Okay, so that's why we got a little bit of background on Micah, because he's included here. All right, verse 3. And they were by the house of Micah, they knew the voice of the young man, they knew the voice of the young man, the Levite, and they turned in there and said unto him, who brought you here? And what makes you in this place? And what have you here? And they giving them 20 questions. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
right off the bat. Verse 4. And he said unto them, this and this dealt Michael with me, and have hired me, and I am his priest. And they said unto him, ask counsel, I pray you, of the Most High, that we may know whether our way which we go shall be prosperous. And the priest said unto them, go in peace. Before Yahuwah is your way wherein you go. B- Before Yahuwah is your way wherein you go. So he didn't even seek counsel. He just basically told him that.
Mm-hmm.
Then the men departed and came to Laish, and said to the people that were therein, how they dwelt careless after the manner of the Zidonians, quiet and secure. And there was no uh, mag, what is that?
Magistrate.
That magistrate in the land that Tolaki, that might be that might put them to shame in anything. And they were far from the Zidonians and had no business with any man. And they came to their brethren in Zorah and Estola. Uh-oh. Yeah, Estola. Okay, I thought I said that wrong. And their brethren said unto them, what say you? And they said, arise, that we may go up against them, for we have seen the land, and behold, it is very good. And are you, Slicker, and are you still? Be not slothful to go and enter to possess the land. Then you go, uh, you shall come unto a people secure and a large land, and to a large land, Slicker, and to a large land. And the Most High have had given it unto your hands, a place where a place rather there is no way of anything that is in the earth.
All right. No want of anything.
Oh, Salaka, a place where there is no want of anything that is in the earth. So basically, this land has got everything. It's got,
Mm-hmm.
everything in the earth. So okay, so let's backtrack a little bit here. Uh, when he said came into your people, so these are still the Danites that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, kind of. All right, verse 11. And there went from, and there went from thence of the family of the Danites out of Zorah to, and out of Estola 600 men appointed with weapons of war. And they went up and pitched in uh,
Kiryath Yerim.
Kirjath Yerim in Yehuda, wherefore they called the place Mahan,
Mahanadal. Hold on. Yeah, something Mahana Mahane Dan.
Mahanadan, Mahanadan, unto this day. Behold, it is behind Kirjatharim. All right, let's take a look at these couple. So I guess it's one land is behind the other.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's look at this one. I think we've seen that
Yeah,
before.
yeah, we've seen this a few times.
Yeah, kind of city of the forest. Okay, and let's see what this one is about. Man and Adon, Camp of Dan. Okay, so they call it Camp of Dan. Oh, so look, this is the only first and only place we see this. Oh no, we'll see it again in 18. So, oh, Slick Eye, we saw it in 13, and so we're seeing it again here.
Yeah,
So
but
let's,
it must have been called something else then.
yeah, let's go back to that again because I don't remember seeing that. Yeah, because it's not 13, 13 and 25.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, they didn't list it here. So let me just take a quick look. Open a new tab. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
guessing this is it. Dan, Camp of Dan. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Okay, kind. All right, verse 13. And they passed there unto Ephraim, and came unto the house of Micah. The Danites take Micah's idols. Uh-oh. So there's like some conflict about to come into place here. Verse 14. Then answered the 5 men that went to spy out the country of Laish, and said unto their brethren, Do you know that there is a house and Slickah, do you know that there is in this houses an ephod and a teraphim and graven images and a molten image? Now therefore consider what you have to do. Like they got some idolatry going on here.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny that Dan would have a problem with that. But what?
Right. Because
But
Dan was quick to jump into the idolatry.
kind, yeah. But consider this is right after Simpson,
Mm-hmm.
and so he was. I don't know. They may have felt lifted up by that he's had a judge that judged 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah. So um, verse 15. And they turned thereafter and came to the house of the young man, the Levite, even to the house of Micah, and saluted him. And the 600 men appointed with their weapons of war, which were the children of Dan, stood by the entering of the gate. And the 5 men that were spies out of the land went up and came to there, and took the graven images and the ephod and the teraphim and the molten image, and the priest stood in the entering of the gate with the 600 men, and were appointed with weapons of war. And these went unto Micah's house to fetch the graven image, the ephod, the teraphim, and the molten image. And the priest unto them, what do you? And the priest said unto them, Slick, what do you? Like, what y'all doing?
Yeah, what y'all doing? Right.
Right. And he got, now mind you, he got 600 with him, and it's just like five of them. So, but they all together. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So he thinking we'll see. Verse 19. It's kind of interesting. And they said unto him, hold your peace, lay your hand upon your mouth, and go with us, and be to us a father and a priest. It is better that you be a priest unto the house of one man, or that you be unto a tribe and a family in Israel. And the priest's heart was glad, and he took the ephod and the teraphim and the graven image and went in the midst of the people. So he turned and departed and put the little ones and the cattle and the carriage before them. And when they were a good ways from the house of Micah, the men that were in the house near Micah's house were gathered together and overtook the children of Dan. And they cried unto the children of Dan as they turned their faces, and said unto Micah, What allieth you that you commit that you camest with such a company? What allieth you?
Uh, Alayeth.
What
What
allieth?
aileth?
Oh, what aileth you? Like what? Okay, so what's bothering you
Mm-hmm.
that you come with such a company? Like what? Why y'all rolling up on me so deep, man?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Con.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Like why y'all rolling up so like that? Okay, verse 24. Uh, and he said, You have taken away my idols, which I made, and the priests, and you have and the priests, and you have gone away. And what have I more? And what is it that you say unto me? What aileth you?
Right.
Like you took everything out my house, including my priest, and you ask me what's the problem? Like what you think?
Mm-hmm.
Verse 25. It's like there's about to be some folly going on here. And we think we passed that point actually. And the children of Dan said unto him, Let not your voice be heard among us, lest anger fall, lest angry fellows run up on you.
Right. Con.
Boy, this sounds just like my people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, these are people out.
I'm telling you, man, this is something else. Uh, and you lose your life and the lives of your household. Like, look, we about that action. You don't really want to get into this. You know what I'm saying? So, verse 26, and the children of Dan went their way, and when Micah saw that they were too strong for him, he turned and went back to his house. And they took the things which Micah had made, and the priests which he had, and came to Laish unto the people that were at quiet and secure. And they smote them with the edge of the sword and burned the city with fire. And we see that burn the city again. I mean, that's
Mm-hmm.
that's a constant.
Con.
We've seen that all through the book of Joshua and this book here. Uh, verse 28. And there was none, and there was no deliverer, because it was far from Zidon, and they had no business with any man, and it was in the valley that lieth by uh, Berth Berthab,
Betharob.
Betharab, and they built a city and dwelt therein. Let's see what that Betharab. I know we haven't seen that before.
Is house or something.
Yeah, the house of Bether Hob.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, House of the Street, a
Mm.
place in Dan on the road of Hamath.
Mm-hmm.
House of the Street. Oh yeah, we had seen that slick in Numbers. It had to been something different though. Numbers, and then here. So now I'm interested in what that is, where that is. So it had to be something different. When they searched the land in the wilderness and Zin and
And they just
Rahab.
called it Rahab.
Okay, kind, okay. Yeah, because I know we hadn't seen that, you know what I'm saying, that word, not that word before. So, all
Mm-hmm.
right, verse 29. And they called the name of the city Dan after the name of Dan, their father, who was born in Israel. Howbeit, the name of the city was Laish at the first. And the children of Dan uh, set up the graven image, and Jonathan, the son of Gershom, the son of Manasseh, he and his sons were priests of the tribe of Dan until the day of the captivity of the land. So how in the world is the tribe of Dan becoming priests? What kind of mess?
Right.
Verse 31. Unreasonable. Verse 31. And they set them up Micah's graven image, which was made all the time of the house of the Most High was in Shiloh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like today because you got a lot of brothers saying I'm priest this and I'm priest that and so on and so forth. And yeah, so all right. Well, let's go ahead and chapter 19. I think these yeah, these ones the last three pretty reasonable. So you
God.
mind picking this one up out?
Indeed.
Told our about.
This is the book of Shophatim, Judges chapter 19. A Levite's concubine degraded. Verse 1. And it came to pass in those days, when there was no king in Israel, that there was a certain Levite sojourning on the side of Mount Ephraim, who took him a concubine out of Bethlehem Yehuda.
Hmm.
And his concubine played the whore against him, and went away from him unto her father's house to Bethlehem Yehuda, and was there 4 whole months. And her husband arose and went after her to speak friendly unto her, and to bring her again, having his servant with him, and a couple of donkeys. And she brought him into her father's house. And when the father of the damsel saw him, he rejoiced to meet him. You know, I'm always thinking that a damsel is a virgin, right?
Not a damsel. No, a damsel is like an old English word for a woman. But let's take a quick look at it. It's like damsel being like a female. That's in Hebrew. That's
Nah, ah.
not yeah, damsel, a maid. Well, no, you're right. That's what it's showing. But look, that's strange. A girl, damsel, female servant, a girl, damsel, a little girl, of young woman, marriageable young woman, concubine,
Mm.
even a prostitute. Like that, those don't even
It's,
go together.
it's too broad. You know what I mean? It
Yeah,
can't be all those things at the same time. You know?
no, no, not at all. A maid, a female attendant, female servant. No, I mean mm, that's a prostitute. When they put that in there, that just really made it wow crazy. So yeah, I was under the impression when I see that damsel, that's just a female, like a woman, maybe maybe without a somebody to help her. So
Yeah,
like
but in the law, don't we hear like if a man entice a damsel, or is it a maid that
It's
it
a
say?
maid. Yeah,
Okay,
it's a
con,
maid
con.
in there, which that has to be a different word because.
Mm-hmm.
But what's crazy is that this says that said maid is where we looked at that. Where are we at?
Verse 3. I mean, yeah, verse 3 at the towards the end.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. That's what I'm trying to go back to. Silica. Yeah. So yeah, because this said girl, damsel, servant. No, it didn't say. Yeah, it did say maid right here. After prostitute is maid. Like that don't even make sense.
Con.
But all right, let's continue. Verse 4.
And his father-in-law, the damsel's father, retained him, and he abode with him 3 days. So they did eat and drink and lodged there. And it came to pass on the fourth day, when they arose early in the morning, that he rose up to depart. And the damsel's father said unto his son-in-law, comfort thine heart with a morsel of bread, and afterward go your way. And they sat down and did eat and drink, both of them together. For the damsel's father had said unto the man, be content, I pray you, and tarry all night, and let thine heart be merry. And when the man rose up to depart, his father-in-law urged him. Therefore he lodged there again. And he arose early in the morning on the fifth day to depart. And the damsel's father said, comfort thine heart, I pray thee. And they tarried until afternoon, and they did eat, both of them. And when the man rose up to depart, he and his concubine and his servant, his father-in-law, the damsel's father, said unto him, behold, now the day draweth toward evening. I pray you, tarry all night. Behold, the day groweth to an end. Lodge here, that thine heart may be merry. And tomorrow get you early on your way, that thou mayest go home. But the man would not tarry that night, but he rose up and departed, and came over against Yebus, which is Jerusalem. And there were with him 2 donkeys saddled, his concubine also with him.
Now, ironically, um, his father-in-law was getting him to stay longer and longer. Like every day, he had an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
Hang out with me and eat with me and whatever the case, and then stay all night. As it was pretty evident that he didn't want him to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Likely because this woman had to have some judgment come to her as she had been out playing the harlot, dealing with her husband here. So, but this was and also this being a concubine, this means this was a woman of another nation.
Mm.
So she wasn't even like this man, her father-in-law, or his father-in-law would have been a man of another nation because she was a woman of another nation, which is another significant piece of why you see concubine in places to understand that piece of it. So
Con.
yeah,
Verse 11. And when they were by Yebus, the day was far spent, and the servant said unto his master, come, I pray you, and let us turn into this city of the Yeshurbites, and lodge in it. And his master said unto him, we will not turn aside hither into the city of a stranger that is not of the children of Israel. We will pass over to Gibeah. And he said unto his servant, come, and let us draw near to one of these places to lodge all night, in Gibeah or in Ramah. And they passed on and went their way. And the sun went down upon them when they were got by Gibeah, which belongeth unto Benjamin. And they turned aside thither to go in and to lodge in Gibeah. And when he had went in, he sat him down in the street of the city, for there was no man that took them into his house to lodge,
wow,
to lodging.
right,
Verse 16. And behold, there came an old man from his workout of the field at even, which was also of Mount Ephraim, and he sojourned in Gibeah. but the men of the place were Benamites.
Mm-hmm.
And when he had lifted up his eyes, he saw a wayfaring man in the street of the city. And the old man said, Whither goest thou? And whence comest thou? And he said unto him, We are passing from Bethlehem Yehuda toward the side of Mount Ephraim. From thence am I. And I went to Bethlehem Yehuda, but I am now going to the house of Yahweh, and there is no man that receiveth me to house. Yet there is both straw and provender for our donkeys, and there is bread and wine also for me, and for thy handmaid, and for the young man which is with thy servants. There is no want of anything. And the old man said, Shalom be with you. Howsoever, let all thy wants lie upon me. Only lodge not in the street. So he brought him into his house and gave provender unto his donkeys, and they washed their feet and did eat and drink.
So he did the right thing and brought him in off the street, gave
Mm-hmm.
him a place to live to sleep,
Yeah,
and instead of imagine being in the street all night as opposed and you among your own people.
yeah,
I
con.
mean that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Verse 22. Now, as they were making their hearts merry, behold, the men of the city, certain sons of B,
Hmm.
beset the house round about, and beat at the door, and spake to the master of the house, the old man, saying, Bring forth the man that came into thine house, that we may know him.
Mm.
This
So this
sounds
is
all so familiar, man, from
right.
Bereshit, from Genesis.
Kind. Just what happened with Lot, and which is crazy. Which is absolutely crazy because again, this is where the Benyamites,
Mm-hmm.
Benjamin, are, and they call them these sons of the wicked one.
Yeah,
I
kind.
mean, that's next level crazy right there.
Yep. Verse 23. And the man, the master of the house, went out unto them and said unto them, No, my brethren, no, I pray you, do not so wickedly, seeing that this man is coming to my house. Do not this folly.
Mm.
He talking sound like you, all right?
Kind.
Don't do this folly.
Right.
Yep. Verse 24. Behold, here is my daughter, a maiden, and his concubine. Them will I bring out now, and humble you them, and do with them what seemeth good unto you. But unto this man, do not so vile a thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like he offering them his own daughter and his concubine. Like take them, better to you to deal with them than to do try to mess with this Levite, man. This is unreasonable.
Yeah, con. So, you know, you take these two women, it's a bad thing, but you take this man and do what you're trying to do, the Most High might send down hellfire on us.
Right, kind.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, at least you dealing with a woman. It's a woman and not, something you ain't got no business doing.
Yeah, con.
I mean, you ain't got no business raping a woman either, but still is that beats it's like playing cards, you know what I'm saying? Like a full house, I don't know the rules, but a full house compared to three of a kind or whatever, four of a kind, I don't know. Whichever one is better. But
Yeah, con.
all right.
Verse 25. But the men would not hearken to him. So the man took his concubine and brought her forth unto them. And they knew her and abused her all the night until the morning. And when the day began to spring, they let her go.
Mm,
Then came the woman in the dawning of the day and fell down at the door of the man's house where her ma- where her master was till it was light.
mm. She
And
fell
her
down at
master,
the door.
oh, Slacky, go ahead.
I was just saying she fell down at the door right as the day was breaking.
Mhm. And her master rose up in the morning and opened the doors of the house and went out to go his way. And behold, the woman, his concubine, was fallen down at the door of the house, and her hands were upon the threshold. And he said unto her, Up, and let us be going. But none answered. Then the man took her upon his donkey, and the man rose up and got him unto his place. And when he was come into his house, he took a knife and laid hold on his concubine and divided her together with her bones into 12 pieces and sent her into all the coasts of Israel. And it was so that all that saw it said, there was no such deed done nor seen from the day that the children of Israel came up out of the land of Mizraim unto this day. Consider of it, take advice, and speak your minds.
Now, interesting enough in this, I'm very pretty familiar with this account, but interesting enough, she had played the harlot, so she had judgment due to her. So I was under the impression that he would take her and basically judge her. And uh, I mean, you got two. He didn't catch her in the act. I mean, you don't have two or three witnesses, so you really can't quote unquote put her to death. But he would have to put her away,
Mhm.
and that would be his only other option. Which he could have put her away and left her at her father's house and let that be what it is. But it would be she would be defiled if he would take her and go back to her, or go back. After that, she is defiled, according to Devarim 24, when she'd have been with another man. And now, even here, uh, the old man of the house put her out, and to the children of Benjamin, and she was abused all night. So we know they wasn't just smacking her around. It said they knew her, so obviously they laid with her. So
Mhm.
she done been, the thing that she did by playing the harlot, they ended up being her demise. She was uh, I don't even know how you do that, but yeah, to death. They, I want to say, laid with her to death. Which again, I don't know how you do that, but I'm sure it wasn't a pleasant
Yeah,
situation
yeah,
that she was
con.
dealing with. But wow.
All
All
right,
right, verse 20, chapter 27.
con. This is the book of Shaphatim, Judges, chapter 20. Resolved to punish the guilty. Verse 1. Then all the children of Israel went out, and the congregation was gathered together as one man, from Dan even to Beersheba, with the land of Gilead, unto Yahweh in Mespeh. And the chief of all the people, even of all the tribes of Israel, presented themselves in the assembly of the people of the Most High, 400,000 footmen that drew sword.
Mm,
Now the children of Benjamin heard that the children of Israel were gone up to Mizpah. Then said the children of Israel, tell us, how was this wickedness?
mm.
And the Levite, the husband of the woman that was slain, answered and said, I came into Gibeah that belongeth to Benjamin, I and my concubine, to lodge. And the men of Gibeah rose against me and beset the house round about upon me by night, and thought to have slain me, and my concubine have they forced that she is dead. And I took my concubine and cut her in pieces and sent her throughout all the country of the inheritance of Israel, for they have committed lewdness and folly in Israel.
Slakia, reading them saying that, like, there's nothing, like, I can't imagine cutting up a human body, what I'm saying, like that, with a knife or with a sword or whatever the case, like with the bone, like that was I know it was in the last chapter, but that's not a normal. I mean, I know this was a different time, but I can't think of doing that with an animal, let alone a woman. Like, it gets done. Of course, the grocery store's got meat in them, but you know, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. But I guess this is how he sought to rally the people for this wrongdoing.
right, kind. And that's another thing. That's what I was kind of in the last chapter was kind of trying to get to. I mean, this woman had judgment coming to her,
Right.
and the very thing that she did was play the harlot. That's the same judgment that came to her. Like, you played the harlot, and here you go. These men are gonna deal with you like you dealt against your husband, but to your demise. And so, I mean, that's really that's a righteous judgment, honestly. Now, should it? I understand it's that thing shouldn't have been what it was. I mean, I think the worst part of it was that they was looking for the man, which
Mm-hmm.
is crazy. But and then you consider he originally offered his daughter and this concubine, but the only one that ended up going out was the concubine. So that had to be judgment.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
kind.
saying? So, yeah.
All right. Verse 7. Behold, ye are all the children of Israel. Give here your advice and counsel. And all the people arose as one man, saying, we will not any of us go to his tent, neither will any of us turn into his house. But now this shall be the thing which we will do to Gibeah. We will go up by lot against it, and we will take 10 men of 100 throughout all the tribes of Israel, and 100 of 1,000, and 1,000 of 10,000, to fetch victual for the people, that they may do when they come to Gibeah of Benjamin, according to all the folly that they have wrought in Israel.
Mm.
So all the men of Israel were gathered against the city, knit together as one man. And the tribes of Israel sent men through all the tribe of Benjamin, saying, what wickedness is this that is done among you? Now, therefore, deliver us the men, the children of B, which are in Gibeah, that we may put them to death and put away evil from Israel. But the children of Benjamin would not hearken to the voice of their brethren, the children of Israel.
Right. So because of that, I mean, that's where the problem started. So they didn't want all of Benjamin. They wanted the children of the wicked one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, give me these ones that actually did the dirt, because I wouldn't have been complicit with being on that woman. I wouldn't have
Come.
done that. So,
Verse 14. But the children of Benjamin gathered themselves together out of the cities of Gibeah unto Gibeah, to go out to battle against the children of Israel.
man, and it's amazing how, I mean, this between last night and tonight, we see the children of Ephraim, and in the last one, we saw the sons of Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're seeing the children of Benjamin. Like, everybody ready to fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just every turn they're ready to fight,
Here
and they're
come
ready to fight against their own. Uh,
fighting each other, man. You
right,
know,
crazy.
and on a historical level, historians will tell you, like, around this time, that indeed the Israelites were not a unified people at this
Mm,
time. Uh they were 12 tribes, but not unified. You know what I
wow,
mean? So
yeah,
it was almost like they didn't consider themselves brothers, like, at a lot of points. And we're kind of reading that. You know what I
right,
mean?
yeah, absolutely.
Verse 15. And the children of Benjamin were numbered at that time out of the cities 20,006 men that drew sword, besides the inhabitants of Gibeah, which were numbered 700 chosen men. Among all this people, there were 700 chosen men left handed. Every one could sling stone at an hair breadth and not miss.
Mm,
So, these are skilled soldiers.
yeah, highly.
Yep. Verse 17. And the men of Israel, besides Benjamin, were numbered 400,000 men that drew sword. All these were men of war. Civil war, Benjamin defeated.
Mhm.
Verse 18. And the children of Israel arose and went up to the house of the Most High and asked counsel of the Most High, and said, which of us shall go up first to battle against the children of Ben-Amin? And Yahweh said, Yehuda shall go up first.
It's always Yehuda.
Mm-hmm. And the children of Israel rose up in the morning and encamped against Gibeah. And the men of Israel went out to battle against Ben-Amin. And the men of Israel put themselves in array to fight against them at Gibeah. And the children of Ben-Amin came forth out of Gibeah and destroyed down to the ground of the Israelites that day 22,000 men. And the people of the men of Israel encouraged themselves and set their battle again in array in the place where they put themselves in array the first day. And the children of Israel went up and wept before Yahweh until even, and asked counsel of Yahweh, saying, shall I go up again to battle against the children of Ben-Amin, my brother? And Yahweh said, go up against him.
Mm.
And the children of Israel came near against the children of Ben-Amin the second day. And Ben-Amin went forth against them out of Gibeah the second day, and destroyed down to the ground of the children of Israel again 18,000 men. All these drew the sword.
So we talking 40,000
Come.
that they done lost in this uh, all because they didn't want to give up uh, these these evil ones that did this dirt.
Mm-hmm.
And wow, didn't
Verse
say
20.
it
I'm
didn't
sorry,
even
go ahead.
talk about almost slick eye. It didn't even say if I know in the battle they probably was winning, but surely some of Benjamin would have failed as well. Uh, but it didn't mention that.
Yeah, come.
Yeah.
Well, when you got I heard an elder was breaking this down and
Mm-hmm.
the importance or the significance of a left-handed man.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, when you're practicing fighting, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like when you're doing drills and you're like most of the people that you're going up against are right-handed.
Yeah.
So you accustom yourself to doing battle against the
Right
right-handed
hand.
person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you meet this unorthodox
Person.
person,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
battle, and
Right.
they cutting you down.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're not used to that strong hand coming from the opposite side
Right.
as opposed to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That makes sense. As we heard that same analogy in boxing and in fighting. Period. So yeah, it's always a different situation. Well, now it's more common,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm sure back then it was not not common at all.
Yeah, come.
Yeah.
Verse 26. Then all the children of Israel and all the people went up and came into the house of the Most High and wept and sat there before Yahweh and fasted that day until even and offered burnt offerings and peace offerings before Yahweh. And the children of Israel inquired of Yahweh, for the ark of the covenant of the Most High was there in those days.
Mm.
And Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aharon, stood before it in those days, saying, shall I yet again go out to battle against the children of Ben-Amin, my brother, or shall I cease? And Yahweh said, go up, for tomorrow I will deliver them into thine hand.
So now this is a head scratcher to me, and definitely to me not me questioning the Most High or His representative, but He tells him emphatically here, "I'm going to deliver him into your hand this time." But the previous two times He didn't say that, but yet they went up and fought. So it seemed like this was the missing piece, but did they not realize that this was what they was missing? Obviously, they went and they've lost. Now they've lost 40,000 men, and here he's saying, "Now I'm gonna give him to you. I'm gonna deliver them into your hand." So why did they didn't get this confirmation before they went up the last time? Should they have not asked more questions, or where did they go off
Here
to
come.
where that's what I'm trying to understand. Uh, Were they just too eager, or did they think, "Oh, we got the numbers," or something here? Of course, now they made the offerings. Uh, You know, they made burnt offerings and peace offerings before the Most High, before Yahuwah, and so now he's telling them, I'm gonna deliver him into your hand. Yeah, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, I don't understand it either.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
else I'm looking at though?
mm.
We're hearing about Phineas still being around.
Yeah. That was another thing. Like this got to be son of Eleazar.
Yeah, well, see, remember we read back in Numbers how Phineas was promoted because,
Haran was going out.
well, now like remember Phineas had I want to say it was Numbers when he had drove a stake through somebody, through a man and a woman.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. During the time of the
The Moabites, wasn't it?
uh, yeah, yeah, the women of Moab, and was it Moab or was it yeah, I think it was Moab, where he threw the spear,
Yeah,
the
the men of,
javelin.
the men of Israel were doing wickedness with these women of Moab,
Yeah.
and he poked one of them through with the, well, he poked the man and the woman through.
Hmm. Yeah. You know, and it doesn't mention that here. Like, I wonder if this a hmm, mouth of brass, son of Eleazar, grandson of Aharon, zealous for yeah, 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 avenge the plague against him and promise everlasting priesthood to his family. So I wonder if are they calling him Phineas? Is he actually Phineas, or is his son that maybe he?
Hmm. I mean, because he'd have to be over 100 or 300 years old.
Yeah, exactly, because they've been in the land for 300 years. So he would. This can't be Phineas. Not at this time now. Before at the time of Adam, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Not maybe, but definitely. But during this time, no, they weren't living like that. So yeah, yeah, that's a good point because we did read that this had been 300 years, and this was a few chapters ago.
Yeah, con.
So, hmm, this got to be his son, with his same name. Now they're passing that name down because of the goodness that he did. So, this may be the fifth generation of Phineas.
Yeah, con,
You know
con.
what I'm saying? Right, right. All right. So I don't know.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't say that, but you reasonably got to draw a conclusion that it's got to be reasonable. He cannot be 300 years old at this point in time without it being, you know, magnified in the book.
Yeah, con. Yeah, we would have
So
heard about that.
yeah, kind of, yeah.
All right, verse 29. And Israel set liars in wait round about Gibeah, and the children of Israel went up against the children of Benjamin on the third day, and put themselves in array against Gibeah, as at other times. And the children of Benjamin went out against the people, and were drawn away from the city, and they began to smite of the people, and kill as other times in the highways, of which one goeth up to the house of the Most High, and at the other to Gibeah in the field, about 30 men of Israel.
Mm,
And the children of Benjamin said, they are smitten down before us, as at the first. But the children of Israel said, let us flee, and draw them from the city into the highways. And all the men of Israel rose up out of their place, and put themselves in array at Bemar.
mm.
And the liers in wait of Israel came forth out of their places, even out of the meadows of Gibeah. And there came against Gibeah 10,000 chosen men out of all of Israel, and the battle was sore. But they knew not the evil was near them.
Slacky, all right. I think we had seen that one, but I can't remember what it was. Uh, Palms. Okay,
Okay.
Master of Palms. No, this is the first time we've seen that one. So, okay, Master of Palms. Okay. I was just curious about that one. All right, let's continue.
Verse
25, 35.
35. And Yahweh smote Ben-Amin before Israel, and the children of Israel destroyed of the Benjamites that day 20 and 5,100 men.
Mm,
All these drew the sword. So the children of Ben-Amin saw that they were smitten, for the men of Israel gave place to the Benjamites because they thrusted into the liars in wait, which they had set beside Gibeah. And the liars in wait hasted and rushed upon Gibeah, and the liars in wait drew themselves along and smote all the city with the edge of the sword. Now, there was an appointed sign between the men of Israel and the liars in wait, that they should make a great flame with smoke rise up out of the city. And when the men of Israel retired in the battle, Ben-Amin began to smite and kill of the men of Israel about 30 persons. For they said, surely they are smitten down before us, as in the first battle.
Yeah, they recapping it here.
Mm-hmm. But when the flame began to arise up out of the city with the pillar of smoke, the Benamites looked behind them, and behold, the flame of the city ascended up to the Shemaim. And when the men of Israel turned again, the men of Ben-Amin were amazed, for they saw that evil was come upon them. Therefore they turned their backs before the men of Israel unto the way of the wilderness. But the battle overtook them, and them which came out of the cities they destroyed in the midst of them. Thus they enclosed the Benamites round about, and chased them, and trod them down with ease over against Gibeah toward the sun rising. And there fell of Benjamin 8,000 men. All these were men of valor.
That's 18.
Oh, Salakia, 18,000 men.
Mm-hmm.
All these were men of value.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, so that's what, before it was 25?
25, yeah. And it was only, what, 30 something to start, wasn't it?
Yeah, Khan.
So they down to next to nothing here.
Khan. Verse 45. And they turned and fled toward the wilderness unto the rock of Ramon. And they gleaned of them in the highways 5,000 men, and pursued hard after them unto Gedam, and slew 2,000 men of them. Wow, they losing men all over.
Oh, I mean, they dwindling down to next to nothing.
Yeah, come. Verse 46. So that all which fell that day of Ben-Amin were 20 and 5,000 men that drew sword. All these were men of valor. But 600 men turned and fled to the wilderness unto the rock of Ramon, and abode in the rock of Ramon 4 months. And the men of Israel turned again upon the children of Ben-Amin, and smote them with the edge of the sword, as well the men of every city as the beast, and all that came to hand. Also, they set on fire all the cities that they came to.
Oh, that's where we get that from.
Right.
We need some pyro. We need some pyro.
Yeah. We burn it down, like, you know.
Burn it. All right, let them know we was here. Burn it up. Burn it up.
Right.
Man, that is something else there. All right, let me see. This is 25. So yeah, this is the last chapter in this book. So let's go ahead and finish this on out.
This is the book of Shaphatim, Judges, chapter 21. Mourning lost tribe, verse 1. Now the men of Israel had sworn in Mizpah, saying, there shall not any of us give his daughter unto Benjamin to wife. And the people came to the house of the Most High, and abode there till even before the Most High, and lifted up their voices and wept sore, and said, O Yahweh, power of Israel, why is this come to pass in Israel, that there should be today one tribe lacking in Israel? And it came to pass on the morrow that the people rose early and built there an altar and offered burnt offerings and peace offerings. And the children of Israel said, who is there among all the tribes of Israel that came not up with the congregation unto Yahweh? For they had made a great oath concerning him that came not up to Yahweh to Mizpah, saying, he shall surely be put to death. And the children of Israel repented them for Ben-Amin their brother, and said, there is one tribe cut off from Israel this day. How shall we do for wives for them that remain, seeing we have sworn by Yahweh that we will not give them of our daughters to wives.
Mm.
Wow. Provisions for their survival. Verse 8. And they said, what one is there of the tribes of Israel that came not up to Mizpah to Yahweh? And behold, there came none to the camp from Jabesh Gilead to the assembly, for the people were numbered, and behold, there were none of the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead there.
Let's take a look at that real
Mm-hmm.
quick here. They showed it back to back there. Looks like it got two different ones. Yabash.
Mm-hmm.
Yabashi means dry, town and territory according to Edip. What is that?
Who's there? Zooey bus. Yeah.
Zuibas. And it's beyond Jordan, 6 miles or 10 kilometers from Pella and the Mount Road of Gurish, site unknown in the modern Wa- Waya,
Wadi Yabes.
Wadi Yabes. Khan. Family of Shalom. Shalom. Is that Shalom?
Mm-hmm.
The 15th king of the northern kingdom. Slicker. All right. Yeah, this is the first time we're seeing that. I didn't think that was familiar. Definitely. So, all right, let's continue.
All right. Verse 10. And the congregation sent thither 12,000 men of the valiantest, and commanded them, saying, go and smite the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead with the edge of the sword, with the women and the children.
Mm.
And this is the thing that ye shall do. Ye shall utterly destroy every male and every woman that hath lain by man. And they found among the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead 400 young virgins that had known no man by lying with any male. And they brought them unto the camp to Shiloh, which is in the land of Canaan. And the whole congregation sent some to speak to the children of Ben-Ammi that were in the rock Ramon, and to call peaceably unto them. And Ben-Ammi came again at that time, and they gave them wives which they had saved alive of the women of Jabesh Gilead, and yet so they sufficed them not. And the people repented them for Ben-Ammi, because that Yahweh had made a breach in the tribes of Israel. Then the elders of the congregation said, how shall we do for wives for them that remain, seeing the women are destroyed out of Ben-Ammi?
Mm. So they destroyed the women as well. My goodness.
God. Verse 17. And they said, there must be an inheritance for them that be escaped of Ben-Ammi, that the tribe be not destroyed out of Israel. Howbeit, we may not give them wives of our daughters, for the children of Israel have sworn, saying, cursed be he that giveth a wife to Ben-Ammi.
Now look at that. No forward thinking, because here we are now in the land of diaspora. You don't know who Benjamin is. You know what I'm saying? So you give your daughter to a man, the wife, and it's Benjamin, and you don't curse yourself. That is crazy. That is unreasonably crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like what you said back in Judges 12, I believe, or 11, where Jephthah had made that pact that he was going to sacrifice. He made that oath
All
that he was
right,
going,
come.
he didn't have to do that,
You didn't have to do it. Just it's completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
And yeah, and he ended up costing him his only daughter, his only child. Hmm.
And what you said is a good point. We have no idea which tribe any of us are from. So, you have to wonder if this was this forever. Did these brothers make this pact forever? Like, we're not going to give our wives, our daughters to them forever, or
I mean, when we go to the top, That's what. Well, let me see what it says again. Israel sworn in misposition, saying that none of us shall give daughters unto Benjamin to wife. Really didn't have a time frame on it. You know what I'm saying? It didn't say for how long or whatever the case. But I mean, here and we get down here. Uh, where were we? Where we at?
Verse 18, I believe.
18. Okay, so tribe not destroyed of Israel. Shall the wives remain? So they done destroyed all the women. So they wasn't thinking at all. Like there was no forward thinking. Like, okay, we're gonna get them to a place where they submit to us, and that's it. We can't kill all of them because these are our brothers. Like
Hmm.
that conversation was not had, which is completely unreasonable. Oh, we're not gonna kill the women because
They need to repopulate, you know?
exactly. I mean, like they were so angry that they were like, forget them. We through with them. We don't ever want to deal with them again. Kill them all. Kill their women. Kill their children. And we done with Benjamin, with Benjamin. We done with them. Like that was literally the mindset. So when they get in there and they get to dealing with it, now they like, wait a minute, we're about to destroy a whole tribe out of Israel. We're about to be the 11 tribes of Israel because we're about to put Benjamin out completely. And now they thinking rationally, and they're trying to make a way. So we're gonna give them these 400 virgins that we found from this other nation, and we killed all of their people, and because not only have we uh, decided to fight them tooth and nail to completely wipe them out, but we also sworn by the Most High that we will not give them a daughter from us to wife, which is going to mess up future generations when they're not in this land because we're going to go off. We
Right,
should have known
right.
that. You know what I'm saying? But this is like so completely unreasonable. All of this thinking at this time. It's like they're just seeing red. They're not even trying to like. There's no rationale. There's nothing like no forward thinking. Nothing. Just like kill them all and we done with them. That's it. And
Come.
that's. I mean that's unreasonable. Uh, you said verse 18.
Yeah, we're ready for 18, I
Ready?
believe.
So I'm trying to see the part where he said we sworn by Yahweh that we would not give. Where would we read? Where did we read that? Where did
Let's see.
elders of the congregation, howbeit the wives remain, women destroyed out of Benjamin, and inheritance escaped from Benjamin. Howbeit, we may not. Yeah, verse 18 is where it is. Howbeit, we may not give them wives of our daughters, for the children of Israel have sworn, saying, "Cursed be he, cursed be he that give a wife to Benjamin." So that put us. That's what sparked this conversation here, because you said that. So now here we are in the future.
Hmm.
And from this point, and again, we don't know who Benjamin is. We don't know who we are. We could be Benjamin, could not. We could be somebody else. But anybody who give a wife to Benjamin, of course, according to this, is cursed. So is Yahuwah gonna say, well, y'all didn't know, so no, we on the hook for that because they swore to it.
Hey, come.
Yeah. Almost like safer to marry outside, you know what I'm saying? Outside, but not really. But no, you certainly can't do that because then you giving your daughter, so you're not even raising up people in your own. So I don't even know. I don't even know. That's
I mean, I guess at some point the Benamites, they
got back to
built back
normal.
up and
Yeah,
started marrying within themselves, I guess,
yeah. They had to stay within themselves. They had to because, and I guess that's really what we supposed to be doing, like marrying through the house of your father. Because yeah, for this, otherwise you don't know who you dealing with.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I think we at 19 now.
Hey, come. Then they said, Behold, there is a feast of Yahweh in Shiloh yearly in a place which is on the north side of Bethel, on the east side of the highway that goeth up from Bethel to Shechem, on the south of Lebanon. Therefore they commanded the children of Ben-Ammi, saying, Go and lie in wait in the vineyards, and see, and behold, if the daughters of Shiloh come out to dance in dances, then come ye out of the vineyards, and catch you every man to his wife of the daughters of Shiloh, and go to the land of Ben-Ammi.
So who are these daughters that they offering up for on a platter for these
Right.
Benjamites? This is a feast of Yahuwah, so this got to be Israel.
Yeah, con,
So
con.
so basically they're gonna turn a blind eye, go rape some of our daughters, and we're gonna not even pay attention to it.
Well,
And I mean, come on, man, this we got to be better than this. We got to learn from this stuff, because this is, and I just imagine us in the wilderness, or even before the wilderness. Well, you can think about the violence that have succumbed our people to this day, and how they just, without regard, shoot and kill one another. And now we read it here in the script, and it's like, dang, you know, that same that same type of situation. They just it's continuous. I mean, we saw it in the previous chapters, and here we see it here.
yeah, con.
And it takes me right to Chicago, right to Los Angeles, right to these places where this so-called black on black violence is so highly prevalent, and there's just no regard for, there's no regard. They just kill them.
Yeah, con.
Yeah.
Verse 22. And it shall be when their fathers or their brethren come unto us to complain, that we will say unto them, Be favorable unto them for our sakes, because we reserve not to each man his wife in the war. For ye did not give unto them at this time, that ye should be guilty. So I guess that's how they avoided the curse, though. Like, they didn't give them wives.
Right.
These men of Ben-Ammi took these wives.
Yeah. And they just basically talking like, be cool, be cool. They got to do it, 'cause they don't have nothing else left.
Right. Wow. Verse 23. And the children of Ben-Ammi did so, and took them wives according to their number of them that danced, whom they caught. And they went and returned into their inheritance, and repaired the cities, and dwelt in them. And the children of Israel departed thence at that time, every man to his tribe and to his family. And they went out from thence, every man to his inheritance. In those days there was no king in Israel. Every man did that which was right in his own eyes. Abba have
Yeah.
mercy.
Yeah. That is the worst situation possible, to every man to just do what he feel is right in his own eyes, because we see what this was, and how it transpired. And I mean, it just went completely and utterly awry in this situation. I mean, just crazy, just completely crazy. Um, Final thoughts on these five, what, 6 chapters?
Yeah, Khan. Well, just I, we've said it before when reading Shophatim Judges. These things were written for our learning.
Hmm.
Uh, this whole book, um, we can draw a parallel to what was going on then to like now. Every man
Hmm.
doing what they feel is right in their own eyes. They're not really being any authority for our children, for the children of Israel. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, we have conflicts that uh don't get addressed. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
The judgment that goes out a lot of times is it's not righteous judgment. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? It's we're living in a dark age, so to speak, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't want my words to be misconstrued because I feel blessed to be in this walk.
Right.
But
Okay.
what we see with our people total, like whether they're Israelites or whether they know that they're Israel, whether they are keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments or not, you know what I mean? It's uh it's something that is depressing like a lot of times, but all of that I feel blessed to be on this path, to be on this journey. um we've read a lot in this book.
Yeah.
These last 6 chapters,
Hmm.
the Most High is still working. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? We might read things that we don't understand. We might see things that we don't totally understand, but we have to keep in mind that the Most High is still the power of powers. You know.
Okay. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Cliff, you got anything you want to say about the final thoughts of these chapters that we read that you heard? He may be occupied at the moment. Well, I would say in these six here, um, well, in this whole book, I mean, summarizing the book of Judges, a lot of interesting information. Uh, I recall, yeah, he must have had something else going on because he dropped off there. But I recall reading where one of the children of Zebulun, one of the sons of Zebulun, was a judge
Hmm.
in Israel. Uh, didn't really get a lot of information about their exploits, but uh, they're definitely listed in the book. Listed by name. Uh, very interesting information as it pertains to um, Shimshon.
Hmm. Con.
Yeah, and lots of interesting, um, how that whole situation transpired and some of the things that he did. Uh, highly interesting or highly, unconventional. Let me say that. Some things that I would not do. Uh, when we get to this last book, this last few what we read today, um, man, I mean, there's so much for us to learn from. You know, I just imagine us in the wilderness or going back into the land, and when conflict arises, are we going to be, how are we going to behave ourselves? Because we know that the Most High have instructed us to not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of our people. And how is it that one, and then I got to go back to remember where we read was it yesterday where he asked the is that an Ephraim? Where he asked the ark say this word, and they said it different than they said it,
Yeah,
and
con.
didn't he kill him?
Yeah, they killed him because they were the Ephraimites were fighting against the children of Manasseh.
Oh yeah, kind.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it was just this constant intertribal fighting, which is something that is not beneficial to us at all. We need righteous judgment. Yes, we need to be righteously judging, but we don't need inner tribal fighting amongst each other without some form of resolution. Like, let these two fight and let that be what it is. But as far as us ganging up together and going against the whole tribe, not to mention in that conflict, I mean, they lost on the side of Israel. Like they basically sacrificed those 30
Right. Right.
to give them strength. Like, how do you even like? I can't
Because it was a lot of
imagine.
widows. It was a lot of
Right,
widows, a lot of fatherless children.
Khan. Yeah, yeah, and I mean, yeah, absolutely. I didn't think about that part of it. You bringing that out. I mean, that's wow. Yeah, man. Yeah, I've not read through this entire book like this. I'm familiar with. I was familiar with the story of the Levite and his concubine. Familiar with this battle, I knew that they got some foreign women and gave them to them. I didn't realize that they took their own women, their own, daughters, and let them just talk the fathers out of it. Like when they come to us to complain, we just gonna, calm them down. Like, wow. I mean, this is some heavy stuff. So,
And and
but
and and they felt that this was right in their own eyes. You
right,
know.
yeah. And then it ended with that. Every man did what was right in his own eyes. So, that tells us that we gotta stick with this Torah. That is so important that we stick with HaTorah and walk in it and do it as it needs to be done. Because man, this other stuff is folly. It's really folly. I mean, it's right. It's difficult. It's even difficult to really come to a reasonable conclusion. You know,
Okay.
but a lot to learn from. A lot to learn. Um, especially with the vows. We saw two vows that were completely unnecessary in this book, and it cost greatly, even to this day. So, the ideal situation is to marry it out of your house. But here's the thing: in this society that we're in now, it's unconventional to marry out of your father's house.
Mm-hmm.
If if I went to my father and asked his, well, not my father, but if I went to my father's brother and asked of his daughter, he'd think I was crazy. Be like,
Okay.
give me your daughter to wife. They'd be like, what? Man, get up out of here. Are you crazy?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that's literally what we should be doing in these situations, because you just otherwise you give your daughter to Benjamin and you curse. And yeah, so a lot to learn from the book of Judges, a lot to consider, a lot to um, be cognizant of, and not just it's in a book that you just read and just that was interesting, and close it and move on. This is a book you really got to contemplate on, and there's a lot of lessons to be learned here. So, anything else to add?
Nah, that's about it, man. All praises to the Most High for allowing us to complete another book. You know.
Hallelujah. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All praises indeed. And man, Abba has been good. We've been consistently driving through this process and having
And,
that. Go
you,
ahead.
you know, you're right though. In regards to starting Second Samuel, I mean First Samuel next week, because we'll finish Ruth up in one day. So
Con.
next week, we will be in this time next week. We will be in Samuel.
Okay, Con. So we'll get into that. Yeah, Shabbat. Uh, Abba willing, we get to see Shabbat. We'll get into that,
Mhm.
and we'll knock out Ruth. Uh, nice and easy. Yeah, Con. So we look forward to that, getting through the book of Ruth and getting some understanding there. Heard a few different things on that. So actually going through it fully and completely with in detail, I think that'll be a barakah as well.
Mhm.
So with that, I'm your Akazaki Yahoo, joined by my most esteemed Kenanaya. We give all praise, honor, and great esteem unto the Most High Power Yahuwah, Bahashem Yahushua HaMashiach, and to the 12 tribes of Israel who are gathered to the four quarters of the earth. We say Shalom Wabarukim, that is peace and blessings. And I cannot wait to the day that the Most High brings us back together, and we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation, under the Most High Power, under one covenant. Until that day, Shabbat Shalom, family.
Shabbat shalom, family.